Alright, today is April 12th, 2012. So, one thing was Charles Manson. Well, I was kind of high there. Alright, Charles Manson was denied parole for the 12th time here recently, and it'll be another 15 years before he can apply again. He's 77 years old right now, which means he'll be about 92 years old the next time that he can apply for parole. Of course, I think it was 43 years ago when they had the two-night, I don't know, murder rampage, whatever it was exactly they did. It's been quite a while since I've read up on what actually happened then. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. What do you think about Charles Manson? Should he be allowed to parole, potentially, when he's 92 years old? Should he have been allowed to parole this year when he's 77? I don't know. Other than that, of course, you know, if you've seen anything in the news, Zimmerman, the 28-year-old neighborhood watch guy that killed Trayvon Martin, the 17-year-old boy, has been arrested, and they're charging him with second-degree murder. So there's that. Yeah, that's about all the education I'm going to give you for this one. What I wanted to talk about, I was thinking a little bit about intelligence and what intelligence actually is. And I don't believe that intelligence is something that you hang on the wall. It's like degrees, things like that. I have a couple degrees, but that's not what makes someone an intellectual person or intelligent. I think intelligence is more the ability that someone has to look at their surroundings, look at the situations, to critically think about anything, really. But there are different types of intelligence, as far as like emotional intelligence and things like that. Not just how many big words you can string together and confuse somebody else to make them feel inferior and like they don't know nearly as much. Within each profession, there is a set of vocabulary words that we use, like in the medical field, all kinds of things that come from Latin and other languages. And it sounds really confusing, and it is if you don't know what those words mean. But that doesn't mean that you aren't intelligent, just because you don't know the terminology and, you know, how everything works with that. If a nurse came to your job and you work in marketing, or you work in, I don't know, a science lab or pharmaceutical company or whatever, a nurse probably wouldn't have the first idea as to what they're supposed to do, or what you're even talking about when you really get into what you do on a daily basis even. So there's that, the whole intelligence thing. And what kind of brought me to talk about intelligence is Marilyn Manson, which I started thinking about Marilyn Manson because Charles Manson. Of course, Marilyn Manson made his stage name from Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson, from, I guess, two extremes of the spectrum, and that's what he kind of considers himself, as an extremist, as far as he is a shock rocker, is what they call him. When I was in high school, and even in junior high, I listened to Marilyn Manson quite a bit, and I think I realize a little bit more now why I did. It's not because I agreed with what he was saying in his lyrics, but it was more that when I was a teenager, I was very frustrated and very angry and didn't really know how to express a lot of things. I wrote a lot of poetry, and it was darker poetry, not always about death and things like that, but it was somewhat on the sad side, the darker side, and there were some that were on the brighter side, but for the most part, it was a little bit darker. But I listened to him then, and I think mainly because of the way he said things, not really what he was saying. Because he has a lot of like Antichrist type stuff and things like that in there, and things he says like somewhat against God. And I've watched quite a few interviews of him defending himself or just talking about why he does what he does or dresses the way he dresses and things like that. And he's very intelligent himself. He's well spoken and all, and he knows what he's talking about. As far as he's done research and read about it, and he's learned about these different, I don't know if it's cultures, but religions, and he's just pretty well rounded, it seems, and totally different than how he is on stage. He still wears the makeup and things like that, but he's very intelligent, and I don't know as if he has any degrees himself, but that doesn't really matter. Like I said, you don't have to have degrees on your wall or anywhere from any formal education in order to be intelligent. But it's the way that he looks at things, things that are in the media and the news, and how it influences people, and how people interpret that, and that everything is subject to interpretation and can be interpreted differently by different people. Based on your own history, you will interpret things in a certain way. So, yeah, there's that, but I could go on for a while talking about, in high school and junior high and all that, and why I was upset and angry, and, I did now they call it emo, I think, but it was goth when I was in high school and junior high. I dressed in the black and all that sort of stuff, and that was kind of an outer expression of the inner conflict that I was having at the time. So, maybe another vlog I will cover something like that. You'll have to remind me, maybe. A lot of different things I like to talk about. Alright, this is going on about 7 minutes, so I'm going to let you go. Whatever you think in the comments below, let me know, and I will see you later, because I got to work tonight and tomorrow night.